Hello, welcome to We Have Issues. I'm Anthony,
And I am Stevie Wildcard.
and every week Steve Wildcard and I get together and we do our best to overcome the various issues and obstacles that life throws away in order to get something done. Most recently, we've been working on a supernatural superhero culty comedy comic called Deathless. Steven,
Nailed it.
nailed it. But Steven, we're on issue 3 of this thing, and it feels great. If you haven't read the book, you can check it out on wehaveissuespodcast.com. We have issues 1 and 2 up there. We're in issue 3 now. Steven, what do you want to do this week, and how did it go?
I wanted to do a page. I
Stop
didn't.
bragging. Stop bragging. I didn't do enough this week. Like I am you need to take it. Like I'm gonna
Well,
set
I have good news for you. I failed. I didn't do a page of the
even what
actual
the
comic.
like how you can't fail? I'm the one.
However, I am on page 18,
Yeah,
so you need to kick it up a notch because there's only 4 pages
now
left.
I feel like you're pulling an emerald on me. Like I don't know what to do with this. Like yeah. No, I love it, dude. The book's looking really good. I don't know. We're at the point of the book where we can't really share the things that you're actually working on because there's so many fun spoilers, which is good news for us, but bad news for the world, unfortunately.
Hmm.
But we're getting to the point where I've been slowly building this Kickstarter, and I'm pretty excited for it. So
Yeah,
we're coming to the phase where we're going to have to put a video together and figure out how we're going to sell this thing to the world.
and
That's
that's
going to
gonna
be interesting.
it's
Yeah,
gonna be amazing.
I think our first one was still my favorite, where we got
Hmm.
together and we were just like, I don't know what to do with my hands. Like, it was so weird
Hey,
the whole
it's
time. But it worked.
you know what? We could film something that because I think you guys are going to come over the following Saturday, right? Not this Saturday, but maybe you guys. I got to talk to Tina about it. But if you guys want, maybe we can even do it this Saturday. It's up to you guys. But I have Sarah's birthday this Saturday. That's the only problem.
Okay, I think that my crush is going somewhere this Saturday. Then
So yeah,
that's
the
why. Yeah.
following Saturday is Coheed Saturday. Got it.
Yes. Oh man, so good. Okay, so Stephen, I was supposed to work on some coloring and our specials, secret vampire, like sexy, sultry vampire situation. And Stephen, we came up with the new title, Bloodlust, which I think is
And
so
I
good.
came up with and they love the logo I came up with. So, and dude, like it actually kind of reopened my eyes for logo creation because I've always just tried to like I do stuff to my logos, but I've always tried to keep it more text based so that way people can replicate it if they need to.
Right, right.
But I actually like completely flattened it and then like altered entire letters and drew details in the letters and everything. And I'm like, these things don't seem like they matter, but like from afar, it makes the whole just like a drawing would, it makes the whole thing pop,
100%. Yeah, 100%. I think like some of my favorite like traditional comic book art in general are just like creative logo renderings and stuff. Like if you
Hmm.
look at like the old Will Eisner, The Spirit, like how he would incorporate the titles and subtitles for The Spirit into the art and into like the backgrounds and stuff. It's
That's
so
so
neat
awesome.
to watch it. And it's one of those things you can't replicate with, just like a
A
text
font.
program or an font.
Someone really, really, really good at Photoshop might be able to do it, but
No, Steven, I said
not to the
nay.
not
Okay,
not to the
stop it.
degree of
Yeah.
where it feels truly incorporated. Though I know what you're saying. Like
No,
you can tell it
absolutely.
was penciled in. Um, but I
Yeah, but
didn't. So I didn't finish a page, but I drew an entire secret cover that we can use probably an issue or two for from
Steven, I
now. So
saw that. Okay, so if you haven't seen the covers that Steven's already made for issues 1 through 3, go look at them. They're freaking phenomenal. But this one, Steven, this one you did physical, and you were talking about like making it like we were talking about making it one of the tiers on the Kickstarter and like how are we gonna get like what are we gonna do with this? And I was like, I want it myself, so no, like it's I want it so bad. But I mean I'll accept the print. I understand. I don't need to take everything, but I want everything. I want it all, and I want it now. I'm Veruca salting
traditional.
this podcast.
And traditional is surprisingly still pretty easy to do while I'm lounging. Like I thought I was going to get perched up on a table and everything, but nah, man. I just use the papers of Bristol that I'm pulling out of the tab of Bristol boards. I just use that as my like drawing space. And I just get a big couch pillow and I'm just on the couch drawing. So yeah. But I drew that and it made me realize how the only thing that's difficult with traditional versus digital is definitely
The
keeping everything
drafting.
in square. Yeah,
Right.
keeping
Oh
everything
yeah.
in square. Like
You know what's funny though?
not
Like
wandering pencil.
yeah, and it is important, and I think you've done such a good job with that digitally, but I also think that it's one of those things that like you and I notice more than most people would
Yeah.
know. So it's
There's
like
just there's a couple pages in Play It Again that really bother me when I see them. I'm like, I can't believe I like committed to that. Like, oh, it's wandering. It's a wandering page. I see
yeah.
it.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Everything is just on a 45 slightly, well, not 45, but slightly askew,
No,
and I
no,
hate it.
everything's completely discanted. Just
It looks like I accidentally took the distort tool and just pulled on one corner really hard,
it
and
could
then
work, Steven. Style is style. But
read
no,
the comic from this angle.
I got some writing done this week, and I felt really good about it, especially
Mhm.
considering like everything else that I went through. Which Steven, most weeks when I say that, it's because I feel like my heart's getting ripped out of my chest, and the world is stomping on it, and it's I'm just like Coles, and the world is going on their like Tony Robbins adventure to
But
find
no
themselves
more.
stomping
There
on
is
it,
someone
but
with a
not
nice
anymore.
water pail just sprinkling water all over your little heart, and it's just
Oh.
growing like three to four to possibly even five sizes. You're
Yeah,
grinching
I'm
this
being
shit.
Grinchified. I'm being third act Grinched is what's happening, Steven. I didn't even realize I was a Grinch until recently. It's amazing. But you got to meet I mean, well, you shouldn't say Cindy Lou Who because that seems inappropriate
Yeah,
somehow.
Grinch is probably
But,
much older than Cindy Lou Who.
but like, let's just sidestep that metaphor and just
And then there's someone out there technically in Grinchtonian years. He's only like 3, so
that's fair. No, but Steven, you got to meet my crush this week. You got to
I
actually spend
did. I
time.
did.
So
So I completely hate her guts. No, I'm just kidding. I'm just
yeah,
joking.
so this is the episode where he announced that I'm single again. I'm
No.
back on. No, no,
Steven started a war that he's gonna finish. No, I'm just kidding.
no. So
No, she is absolutely wonderful and great and fantastic. And Tina loved her and I loved her. And we had a fantabulously awesome time drinking beers and eating za at
yes.
our favorite establishment, Nice Guys Pizza.
Oh, it was so much
Not a
fun.
sponsor.
Not a sponsor yet. Nice guys, come at us,
Come
bro.
on.
Oh, we
Come
do have a
on.
sponsor though. Let's talk about that for a second. Steven, if people click the link below to Libris Arcana, they can get some incredible dice and go through if they go through our specific link, guess what? We get money too. So
We get we finally get a piece of the pie.
this is what I
What
think
you're
we need to
telling
do,
me.
Steven. This is what I think we need to do. Most people, when they come up with advertisements, right, they focus on how cool the product is. What I'm going to focus on is how much we get money, right? Like,
it's
Steven,
it's it's not what they want. It's the consumer, which
the
is me.
me. Yeah, like no. If you buy something, I also get money. You get dice, I get money. That's so good. We both win. For Christmas, all I want is your money a little. Like, but you also get dice. So buy yourself dice for Christmas using our link, and then you'll get Steven's daughter's some awesome Christmas presents.
Word on the street is that Fartbuckle uses Libris Arcana. So I mean, if Fartbuckle uses Arcana, then you definitely need to be using Libris Arcana. That was a little concurrent memeage for all you people out there. I'm not as old as I look. I am.
So go to use our link below. Go to Libris Arcana, buy some fun tabletop dice, and you can use the code issues20 at checkout, and you can get 20% off. Anyway, Steven, I feel like my crush rolled a 20 on persuasion, and she made you guys like her, and it was great. I was like, what is she doing? What is this witchery? What is this sorcery, Steven? Because I have fallen in love, Steven, and I don't know what to do with myself anymore. What is this? What do I do? Help me.
I got nothing to help you with, bro. I'm just
I
gonna
knew it.
watch it,
No one ever
and
helps.
if it crashes and burns, which I don't think it will, but if it does, I'll be there to put those pieces back together with my handy dandy glue book. And then I have various glues, people, just so you know, Anthony has fallen apart a lot in our lives. So I have
Sure.
different degrees of glue that I keep on
I
hand for
need
the
them. I'm very
sometimes
fragile now.
sometimes he needs a little Elmer's,
Spikes.
not a sponsor. Sometimes he needs super glue. I mean, it varies. Ceramic glue is one of the hardest ones to have to use, though.
David, so I realized through all of this, that I was like, okay, why? Why is it that when I'm happy, when I'm like, oh, I'm finding a good situation, like I found someone and now I'm like putting myself out there, I'm spending time with her. I can't, I'm committing to this thing that our podcast doesn't get many views. And I was like, oh man, like people hate when I'm happy. They don't like my smile. It's too ugly. They can't stand it. They're like, never do that again. Crazy. And they just, they hate my guts. So I was like, is that what it is? And I was like, no, I figured it out, Steven. I know what it is. I know what it is. And it's not just that I'm not on social media sharing the link as much. It's that social media became my girlfriend, Steven.
Mm.
Social media was my girlfriend, and I'm cheating on her. I'm cheating on my
And social
girlfriend.
media is like, you just walk away.
Yeah, I
I'm
am
gonna have to
feeling
get Steven's glue set over here for what you've done to me.
Yeah, and it's it was so interesting because I realized I was like, yeah, I'm not on social media as much because the truth is I have someone in my life who I want to give all of that attention to, as like the
Mhm.
opportunity cost of life in general that we've talked about that a bunch, where it's
I
like,
do feel like there is a direct correlation between, and this is nothing against anyone that uses social media, and not even, this is just a broad generalization. It doesn't apply to everyone. However, when there's lulls, I think in relationships or people who aren't in relationships, I think social media becomes obviously more used. There's, if you're like needing attention, or like even if you're in a
yeah,
relationship and you're
it's
requiring, like you're missing points in your relationship that are making you feel
well,
attractive, or this, like you seek it elsewhere to
oh,
get
absolutely. I
that
mean,
little
you
hit
get
of
those, yeah, you get those
dopamine.
little dopamine hits from
Mm-hmm.
social media all the time. I mean, I mean, it's the freaking pull of that slot machine. You post something, you're like, cha-ching, and you're just watching, you're hoping you hit a jackpot, and sometimes you do, and you're like, was now everyone's looking at me. What do I do with this? It's very strange. But when you are literally hitting jackpots elsewhere every single day and feel like I'm lousy with riches now. Like, how did I stumble upon this like ridiculous Wayne fortune? I can be Batman now. Like I'm like, I am Batman.
I'm
Like
just Batman full time
I'm just
now.
full-time Batman now. Like this is who I am. Like
No,
who
because I noticed that even in us, like when Tina and I have ever had lulls, that's when I'm on Twitter more. But like we haven't had a lull for a long time, and guess what? I haven't been on Twitter in a long time. So
Yeah,
like
no, it's totally fair. Oh, Steven, that makes Twitter like the rogues gallery of villains. Like
of
social media is the rogues gallery. Is just like, nah, we almost got him.
we
Like,
almost got us. He's just leaving us over here in Gotham for the moment, but
I mean,
he'll
Twitter
be
pretty much
back.
is Gotham, though, right? Like that's pretty much what
I
it is.
mean,
And like I do,
it
and
doesn't it
honestly,
just feel gloomy when you click it? Like,
it
doesn't it just
does.
feel? It
It
feels like you're
does.
entering Gotham City. Like
It does. And it's
there's
funny because
there's a
I do my
blue
best.
tone.
I do my best, Steven. I show up. I try to like make people laugh with my silly nonsense. I'm like, here's my bat signal. Like, hopefully it brightens your day a little, but there's also that gloom in the middle of it because it's there. I can't get rid of it. I'm trying. It's going away slightly. It'll be the moon eventually. But yeah, yeah. I haven't been spending a lot of time in Gotham.
I've learned that Halloween Twitter is the best Twitter time of year. People seem to really
Yeah,
be nice around Halloween on
it's true.
Twitter. So,
It's true.
although
That's fair.
this year's Halloween is close to another thing that's happening this year, so maybe Halloween will be.
Thanksgiving, which we're all gonna talk about. It's
Wake me up when Thanksgiving's here, because it means it'll pass all that crap.
Oh man, yeah, yeah, it's gonna be very interesting around there. But yes, so you met my crush, who, yes, people love pointing this out, Stephen. She's no longer a crush, but I'm gonna keep calling her a crush because I enjoy consistency and like the convenience of a name,
I'm gonna
you know.
start calling Tina Crush. I'm gonna steal it.
I was joking about that, where it's like, we'll be 12 years into a marriage, and they're like, my crush and I.
So my crush and I, we were making lasagna. We were
Yeah.
talking about like, whoa, what should we do with the spare bedroom? And I'm like, you know what, Crush? What we need to do, Crush, is like hang those curtains. I mean,
Yeah, right. I bought an engagement ring for my crush today. Wait, what? That's not how that's how words work at all. But yeah, it's been amazing though, Steven. It's been amazing. Like so far, like it's I mean, you met her and
hmm
obviously, I wouldn't be like, hey, everyone in my life who is the most important to me, like meet this person unless it meant a lot to me, So it's been something. It's been special.
it's
And
been awesome.
yeah, it really has been. And so if that means I'm not on Twitter as much, and like even if our views slip a little from time to time, it's fine because I know the people like if you're watching this right now, first of all, thank you. If you're watching this for the first time, we appreciate you. We do talk about comics and our progress and such sometimes. So please hit
Most of
the
the time, we just try to sweep through it as fast as we can to talk about things that have absolutely nothing to do with them.
We do, but you know what else we do? Okay, first of all, if you're here, please hit the subscribe button. Comment something below for the algorithm because it's a monster. I don't know if you know this about the algorithm, but it's like literally trying to create the apocalypse all the time. It's just like
It's like
it's
the beast from season 1, episode 5 of Loki. It's just sweeping through, just trying to eat as much as it can.
like it's true. Just please go comment something for the algorithm. Subscribe if you can. Otherwise, Steven, we do have questions from our
Oof.
colony. We're trying to build a
Hear a
colony here.
gallop in the distance. There is thunder in the air. We got hungry, hungry people, and we have answers to share. So they gather around the campfires while Anthony and Steven sing. We're gonna answer your questions, cause we got some questions from the colony with Anthony and Stevie. I changed it up just enough so to keep you on your seats, cause it's questions from the colony.
Wonderfully done, Steven.
The
Just
same
perfect every time. Like
same
it's
as every time.
just let's hear same thing I've heard every time. For those of you who are new to our show, we're trying to build a colony here. We try to have live just some interesting, similarly minded, creative people who of all types who want to hang out and maybe race ostriches, maybe just
Battle with them.
have some battle birds. No big deal. It's a cult, okay? We're building a cult here, and in that cult, we believe in transparency, and in the spirit of honesty and transparency, we let people ask us questions and we answer as honestly as possible. Tonight, we have a few questions. Let's get to them. Let's see. So, KT Carlisle asked, "Can you at least pretend to be a little miserable on this episode? So I'm interested in watching again." Yes, here it is. So my date sucked. It wasn't
Dude,
the best. Like,
Nice Guys was fucking horrible, dude. Like, how did we even make it through that night?
should have been called Slice Guys, because I was
Slice
ready
Guys.
to, like, no, I was ready to murder my crush because she's not as good as I thought she was. Like,
I mean,
that's
it was just,
she wouldn't stop talking
missed
about Fast and the
joke after
Furious 2.
missed
It was
joke. Like,
crazy. Like, yeah, she like I was like, we kept trying to make all of these references, and she was just like, Fast and Furious 2 is the superior movie, and we're like, we were talking about Jaws, and
I
she's
mean, it
like,
was
like I
obviously
said,
Fast Seven. Like, I mean, I just don't understand why
we all
anyone would
know it's
even say
Fast 7. But yeah, so yeah, like just that whole situation is really just a
it.
nightmare.
It was rough, dude.
Nothing I can do. Nothing I can do, Steven.
It was really just the blatant racism. I think that was.
So, Cold Spot Paranormal Research asks, when do we get to know your crush's name? Her name is Crush Crushington. I'm going to keep saying that for the next 40 years of my life.
So it's funny because it actually comes from this ancient like line of
The Crushington clan?
the Crushington clan. They were actually known for not crushing, believe it or not, but
Oh,
slicing people with axes. It was so weird. It's kind of like the Greenland Iceland situation. The Slicington clan actually used maces, but the Crushington clan used axes. It was just this weird little mishap to throw their enemies off, because then the enemies would come with all this heavy armor to survive blunt force. But guess what? They had axes, and it was just slice.
every single time. It's that cool 90s thing, the 90s, early 2000s thing where you get sliced and it just takes a second for like the
The
like,
camera shows the camera do it.
why did we lose that? Like, why did we ever stop? Why did
Someone's gonna bring it back at some point.
All right, let me see. Okay, so we have Heather asked, did Steven show
Uh-oh.
up to the airport with a marching band, and did Tina have a six-pack? Hopefully you know what I'm referring to, and this is a big bag of fail for me.
So we did not Marshall and Lily the situation. It was definitely like that day was wild because we had no anticipation of that happening at all. Like,
yeah.
as far as we knew at that point, Delta had screwed her and I wasn't going to see her till Thursday. But then things happened and I dashed to Tampa and the day was saved.
Oh.
But I should have came with an entire marching band, and she should have brought me a specialty porter 6-pack from Arizona, Tucson, Arizona.
Oh, yeah. Okay, and the last question comes from the incredible RM Hamrick.
That's awesome.
Yeah, and it says, "Hey Anthony and Steven, what do you do every day to stay so awesome and creative?"
Well, I think for me, I like just crave it after working in the sun for 8 hours. Like, but I do also think that my job kind of lends to my creativity, because I think that's one of the reasons why I'm able to tolerate my job so much, is it's like creative solutions, like to some extent, because like I have to figure out how to fix something, the best way to fix something,
Yeah.
how much am I going the complete right,
Little
actual correct way,
puzzles and
or evolving in a situation, because no job is, there's seriously not a single job that's the same. Every paper is different. So, I think that's what keeps my creative juices flowing anyway. And then when I get home and When I first get home, I am like dead to the world because I am literally sweating from everywhere. But
Yeah.
then after my shower, I feel a lot better. And then it's like, okay, it's time to shift into dad,
Yeah, yeah.
husband,
Do you have,
drama.
do you have like the fish acclimation system? Is that what it is? You go in the shower, you're like,
All right,
new water, here we go.
you're a dad now.
You're a dad now.
You were never not a dad, but now you're
Never
really a
dad.
dad.
No, dude, I 100% understand that. I'm someone who I need time. I need time to kind of like decompress. Thankfully, during the school year, I get that like from like working with the public and having to deal with all of their absolute nonsense. To like I wait in the car in the pickup line. I'm like, all right, reset mode, and just like I feel like it's like it's like the best kind of werewolf transformation. Where I'm like, I
It's
become
just
me
like,
again,
yep, shift off to. What's cool about us is we have aftercare,
Okay.
but we really only have aftercare because I don't get off till 3, so I genuinely can't make it there until like 3:05 because Trafalgar's like 5 minutes from my shop. But dude, having aftercare, even like I'm getting there at 3:05, 3:10. We're talking like literal minutes after the parent pickup line finally cleared. And I'm literally pulling up to a
Like,
ghost town
yeah,
and just
that's
picking up from
perfect.
it's so awesome for me. Like it's
Perfect.
so but I have to walk in there completely filthy. And I
Oh.
know I smell like 1,000 different things, but still, it's
They're
it's an
like,
awesome
nah, just one, and you know what it is. It's not good. It's
it's
not
not
great.
good.
It's like you're not Dr. Pepper.
You got some Bo Burnham going on, and we need you to get the hell out of here.
But yeah, dude, as far as like how do you stay creative given everything?
It is
Like,
tough, obviously.
what was that?
It is tough at times, obviously. Like, I mean,
Yeah,
that is something every creative deals with,
yeah, I like for me the creative part is like the natural part, and the rest of it is the thing that gets in the way of that,
Hmm.
So it's like staying creative is more like how do I find my way, through that, like just navigate those waters of the filth of the day in order to get
Hmm.
back to the clarity of who I am, and that's kind
If you do like multiple, one thing that I found that also helps me, if you have like multiple like artistic talents, like so like if I'm like kind of getting like a drawing block where I'm having a tough time drawing, I literally just go and start play guitar for a little bit and just like reopen another
yep.
pathway because I draw, I play music, I write, so like I can kind of dance around just to get that creative outlet. I cook. Cooking is an awesome way to like really feel creative too. Like, I mean, I'll hop into the kitchen and cook dinner, and that like kind of resets some things too. So just
Yeah.
another avenue if you're getting stuck on one specific art form.
Yeah. Um, yeah, it's funny to think about that stuff. Like I do the same thing as with music, like when
Hmm.
mostly that's part of my like decompression, the
Hmm.
acclimation into the waters where every once in a while I'm like, okay, I'm stressed, but I don't want to be like stressed to people who don't deserve it. That's ridiculous,
For
I
sure.
want that stuff to stay there. So how do I get rid of it? And I shake it out through, like silly guitar stuff. So I
It's
play
like it's the Taylor Swift version,
yeah.
not Swift. Shake it out, shake it out.
Hey, that's a Manchester Orchestra song. It's
It is. And it's
literally what
and
he
it's
said.
actually sung verbatim with
Yeah.
it's a merger of both with Taylor Swift
His
and the
name so
Manchester Orchestra. I pulled Jake Peralta. This is for sure.
Orchestra. That's so good. But yeah, no, I do the same. I do the same thing. And then as far as the other creative endeavors, it's mostly like, okay, well, it's what I want to do. So I find,
Hmm.
whatever time I can to do the thing. And really, it's like staying creative is more a matter of prioritizing the creativity, like
Hmm.
especially these days where I'm like, we're working on multiple projects and I have other things I want to work on. I still have to do a commission for someone or I have to write a song based on something. So I'm like, I have like various creative endeavors that I have to work on and want to work on, and then I have to prioritize appropriately. And that could be like tricky and sometimes like stifling,
Hmm.
like you just find yourself kind of like, in that weird quicksand of
You
like,
feel caught up and then you remember the stack of work you have to do, but it's good
yeah.
work, but it's still, things you
Yeah,
have
of
to get
course.
through.
Yeah, but as far as like staying creative, it's that's just something like that's the thing I like about life, really.
Hmm.
Just solving little creative puzzles is like my favorite thing to do. It's the best. Otherwise, Steven,
For all you pogoers out there, it's Beldam Community Day Classic this weekend on Sunday, 2 to 5, local time. Catch those Beldams, they're going to be shiny. Anyways,
talking about shiny Beldum. Steven, What's a show? What were your? Give me some favorite shows from the '90s. Because I
from the
was look. Yeah, yeah,
90s.
from the '90s. Because like early, yeah, '90s, early 2000s. Because like I was watching something about Boy Meets World today, and I was like, I haven't thought about that show in a while. So I just want to like.
I know a lot of people like we rip on it and stuff, but I was a big fan of Full House.
Mhm,
I was a big fan of Fresh Prince of Bel-Air.
mhm.
For cartoons, Ah Real Monsters, Hey Arnold, um, other 90s cartoons. I mean, obviously Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, but I
So
think you're talking more sitcom-y. So like
well, wait,
that.
let's go back to Full House because it was like the first one you mentioned.
Mhm,
So Full House, right? I loved Full House growing up. Like
mhm.
I freaking absolutely loved it. But something that never really occurred to me was like Danny Tanner was something's going on with him, right? Like something's going on with that man. He was
I'm
either a
thinking
werewolf,
serial killer.
serial killer. That was I was gonna say like something's going. What do you think it was? Do you think serial killer? Because he always had a babysitter. Like there were always other like his brother and such. Like there's always someone in the house, Uncle Joey, Uncle Jesse, watching the kids. Like or they're watching themselves. Just like walking around being fine. Mr. Bear was on the case all the time. There's always something going on, but I'm pretty sure. Tanner was like Patrick Bateman, or like he was a serial killer, right? He's too clean. He's too
He's
like too
too
squeaky.
crisp.
And not to mention he almost never dated, right?
Well, he had that one
19.
girl. What was that one girl's name that was also like a news anchor type woman? Not
Yeah,
Rebecca.
no,
He
not
actually did
Rebecca.
the news with he did the news with her, but then
Mm.
there was that other girl that like worked in there that they dated for off and on for a while in that
And then
show.
she disappeared because he's a serial killer, and that's just how that show works.
And that's why Danny Tanner has all those earrings in his bathroom. They aren't his widows. They
But
aren't his dead wives. They are his victims.
it's,
Actually, the show starts off with a dead mom. I mean, that's
I mean, listen, and that she wasn't the first either. You think those
victims.
girls are actually like no, they're half sisters, and we all know it. That's why they look nothing alike. None of these kids do. Yeah. So
Whatever happened? And then like the new age version, it's like, whatever happened to predictability? The
what happened to the
milkman,
milkman?
paper
What
boy,
happened to the paper boy?
he's just
We're gonna
gone.
find out on evening TV. Guess what? He runs the news. You want to know who wants to control the news? People who are making the news. Danny Tanner was a murderer who was controlling his own stories and pointing to various directions that weren't himself. Solved it, cracked that case. '90s.
Cracked it.
That's it.
And then he would use the two different uncles depending on what kind of strategy he needed to use to lure
Absolutely.
in the victim. If he needed a heartthrobby, like beautiful man, he would send Uncle Jesse in to lure in his victim. And then if the women were more into like comical guys, he would send in Uncle Joey. It was a three-man crew, really. I mean, they were just really taking his orders, though.
It's like a scream situation. They're all wearing the mask. It's all three of them are just going around the town.
That's
Just
Uncle Jesse. I'm getting woozy here, man. Have mercy.
I mean, Uncle Jesse did look like a werewolf, right?
He
Like
did.
it's like full moon
I
house.
do like
I like
that
it.
better. Like we go like Danny Tanner's Frankenstein, to
Yes.
Uncle Jesse is
Wait,
werewolf,
what's
Uncle
Uncle Joey?
Joey,
Is he? What's
Uncle
Joey?
Swamp Thing.
Swan Man. I was thinking Joey would be like the
Ooh,
Frankenstein. I think Joey would be the
Joey be
Frankenstein.
Frankenstein, and then
I
yeah,
think,
because Danny Tanner makes sense as Dracula,
yeah,
like as a
he's
vampire,
Dracula. He's like the
tall, thin
immaculate, like
vampire. Yeah,
thin vampire. Yeah, 100%. So yeah, we have the Dracula, Dracula, Danny Tanner. Yeah, Frankenstein, Uncle Joey, and then Wolfman, Uncle Jesse. Bam, full moon house. We cracked it. That's
full
it.
moon.
Like, I mean, come on, that writes itself.
I feel
I'll
like that almost deserves its own "we have issues" drawing version of it, but
almost. We haven't done one of
almost.
those in a while,
We
actually.
haven't created. Yeah, we haven't created an original,
Oh man,
non-original parody in a
we
while.
have to, we have, we'll get on there. I've been thinking about that a lot lately. If you're watching this, if you made it this far in the episode, comment below and let us know some of your favorite segments from the show that we might not have done in a little bit that you'd like us to bring back. Because I've been thinking about that lately. I'm like, we need to like bring some of these fun segments back. And I've been letting slip, Steven. I've been letting them slip. But something that we always bring back every single episode. Steven, what are you gonna work on this week?
I'm gonna continue working on page 18 of 22, Anthony. You need to get flatting, boy. Um, and yeah, I'm gonna get that done. And that one, aside from the establishing shot at the bottom, which actually I realized today, like I don't need to make the establishing shot a huge shot. It can literally be a small panel of a distance situation, and it's good. But yeah, I'm gonna that page isn't too crazy. My weekend's busy, but I'm gonna try to get that entire page done and start progress on 19. So
Awesome. Okay, I'm going to flat at least one page. I'll give you that, and then I'm gonna go for two. I'm probably gonna get one page done. We'll see. But then I'm also going to completely finish the Bloodlust comic, like the first,
Yep,
the first
that's
issue of
awesome.
Bloodlust, completely finished. Because like I mean, I'm close enough now for you to do all the art, but it's just like I have to finish up the like I'm writing like a cool narration and stuff, so each character gets a narration for various segments, and but I think it's going to be a good book. I'm really excited for it. I
That's
think it's
awesome.
cool. Yeah, so I'm looking forward to that. So I'm gonna try to color 2 pages, and I'm gonna write the rest of Bloodlust. And that's what I'm freaking doing this week. Let us know what you're doing below. Comment in the comment down below and let us know what you're gonna be working on. If you have any creative endeavors, if you have any books you want us to check out, or any kind of movies or anything cool that you think we should know about, and let us know. We want to hear all about it. If you have any questions from us, you can ask them below. Ask us on Twitter. Steven, what's your Twitter handle?
I am at Stevie Wildcard, and I think it's the same for my other socials too. I think even on TikTok
There are
or
others. No, I'm
I
kidding.
don't really use them, but I mean, if you want to try to get me there, Twitter's going to be your best bet. But at Stevie Wildcard.
Yeah, I'm at Anthony Lafusi. You can also talk to us on at We Have Issues Pod, and just ask us questions. Talk to us about whatever you want. We're there for you. But aside from that, thank you all. Thank you for watching. Thank you for listening. If you're only listening on one of the various podcasting apps, thank you, JD, for reminding me to do that. I'm sorry that I get behind sometimes with it, but I love you. Thank you for hanging out with us, Steven. What do you want to say to the people before we go?
Thank you so much for tuning in each and every week and just being our like biggest rock and support for following our dreams. We appreciate
That
each and
big
every one
Dwayne
of you so
Johnson,
very much.
love you. No, no,
So
we
much.
we love the hell out of you. Seriously. I was complaining earlier about people not watching when I'm happy, but some of you are gonna watch this right now, and I love you. And you should comment below. Steven, give them a word. What's a word they should comment below if they make it this far in the episode?
Oh, I'm about to make a name for myself.
Please comment all of that. No spaces.
No spaces. It
No
needs to
spaces.
be.
Just like that. Perfect. Thank you, Gambit. So but yeah, comment that below, and maybe we'll give a prize away. We'll see. We'll see what we're gonna do here. But comment that down below and just know that we freaking love you. We're thankful for you, and we really just sincerely appreciate all of you for checking out our show, sticking with us throughout the good times and bad times, and just know that we love you. So I'm Anthony.
I'm Stevie Wildcard.
This has been We Have Issues. We'll see you next time.
Boom, I'm about to make a name for myself.
Why does that sound like it sounds like you're about to sing a Limp Bizkit song or something? Or like
Now I know y'all be loving this. Boom, about to make a name for myself right here. LIMP Biscuit is right here.
yeah, you rhymed
People in
here.
this house better be rolling that dice, and it better be Libris Arcana, or it won't be nice. Hip hop career don't need drawing. Boom, did it.